Hello. I nearly forgot what the time was. There I was, just sitting here waiting for you, and then I forgot what the time was. So, good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all here. Um, it, whoops, a daisy. It's been a lovely sunny day here, and it's really nice because in my craft room the sun is streaming in here, but I have still put the lights on so that you can see everything. That's nice. So, you may have noticed that there's been a new Presscut release over the weekend, and so that's what we're going to be working with today. Centralise it, that's better. They are background collections. You have to get your French into order with this because the names are French. So I have actually had to look up some of them in order to pronounce them vaguely correctly. So you bear with me. I do hope that if anyone is fluent French, whether you be French yourself or you just have that gift that you are able to talk fluent French, forgive me, because they probably aren't how you're going to say them. But however, I will show you them and then we will make a card with one of them. So we've got the first one. Let's call it Porteo. Yeah, shall we? Very ornate one. We've got 2 dies here. So it all says on the front of the packet how many dies there are actually in the set. This one is a beautiful one for paper piecing. So you can buy all of these individually or obviously as a bundle, they are even better value. So this one comes 2 dies. So you have an outer cutting edge, you can't see it there, outer cutting edge, and then you've got your inner panel. As I said, beautiful for paper piecing, and the whole idea of these is that they are meant to be a background, so you can put your decoupage and your other shapes and bits and pieces on the front, or you can use them just as a plain card, depending on what colorways you might want to do them. So there's a nice lot of choice. So that's number one. Then we have got this beautiful one. We've got 3 dies in this selection, so you've got a lovely outer die with more detail on it. So you've got these little, well, holes basically, but patterns as well. Then you've got a plain one so that your few, how about that, eh? How about that? Few, or leaves, is really a lovely one. Very, very delicate. One of my favourites. Just beautiful. And it's really nice that you've got that extra piece there. So basically they are all just under the 13 centimetres, which is just over the 5 inches. So another one makes the few. I have to keep saying that because I had to get Mrs. Google to say that time and time again. So there you go. Then we've got, well, I don't know if that's Carez or Cars or Caress. Who knows? This is the square one. Now, I really thought that this one lent itself, as you may have seen on my Facebook page, to the new craze of the cutting dies and then stamping with them. I do aim to do a small video for that, but John did show it on any of the, I think it was on the 10 o'clock show on Monday, I'm not quite sure. It really is beyond simple, and so yeah, it's a really good one to do that with. You've got your outer cutting edge, which of course you can't quite see here. Can you see it from the other end? No, but that's all of what, and it can be turned and mixed and matched. Yeah, another really lovely one, Carez or something like that. Yeah, and then finally Panot. I think it's Panot. So this is, what did he say it was? Panels or something? I don't know. So we'll take that one out because that's what we're going to do. So we have got 4 dies here. We've got this outer one here, which is like a stitched edge to it, which is nice. Then we've got this inner one. Then we've got another plain die here. And then we've got the inner piece as well. So this is the die that I'm going to use today. So as I said, this one is Panot. And I think it makes a really beautiful card. And for today, it's going to make a wedding card. I sounded a bit like that. Can you remember that programme? Was it called Stars in Their Eyes, when they said, "Today, Leslie," or whatever the bloke's name was? I think it was Leslie Crowther that did it then, wasn't it? I don't know. And they said, "I'm going to be Fred Flintstone," or whatever. Can you remember that programme? Well, for today, whoever, I'm going to make this one into a wedding card. So I have done a little bit of prepping for it, and I just wanted to show you just how versatile these dies can be. So this is the one that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to take, to start off with, in fact the whole time. So if we counted these as 4 dies, this outer one being die number 1, we're going to use die number 2, which is this one, and then die number 3, which is that one. So that is the 2 dies that I'm going to use for my prep. So to start off with, I'm going to take a white piece of card, put that to one side. So I've got about an A5 piece of card here. And then I've got some of my double-sided sticky sheet. I'm using the one by Crafts 2, but any of the double-sided sheets will work just as well. I need to now attach this double-sided sheet to my white piece. So I'm going to remove the backing, and preferably, I'm sure we will have spoken about this before, you can see hopefully that this side is shiny and that side is matte. And so because we're going to be putting a die on this, it is easier if we chose a side that we remove this shiny bit, so that when we put the die on the front, it has got something to sort of grab on, or at least not fall off. However, it's always, I do it round the wrong way. So I just want to try my best to grab hold, there we are, of that piece and then just pull that off. Okay, and I'm going to then stick that straight down onto my piece of white card. So I've got the sticky piece just straight down onto my piece of white card, because I wanted to make my card white and silver. So I can hear it's got bubbles, so I'm just going to take the bubbles out there. Okay, now I want to cut this out first and foremost, and I want to cut it out so that it is 14 centimeters squared. And if you look at it, you can possibly just notice that the piece, there's a tiny little bit at the top and the bottom that is actually not included with the sticky tape. So I want to make sure that all of it is. So I'm going to just trim this bit down there to 14. Isn't quite straight. And then I'll take a little bit of there, and then I can turn that round and trim it so that it is at 14 centimeters there. So I've now got a piece which is 14 centimeters squared, and it's white on one side because that's the card that I'm using, and it has the grid part on the front, but also for me the matte part, so that when I put my die onto it, my die won't be slipping about. So I want to position my die as much as I can to be in the middle. It's not vitally crucial if it is just off, and I have to say, because these grids are not like I was doing it on a grid like this when they're all in the right places, I have to sort of look past that grid in order to make me sure that it's in the right place, if you see what I mean. Hopefully you all know what I mean. So I'm going to now pass this through my die cutting machine. I'm not putting that die in, just, beg your pardon, I am putting that die in. Oh, silly me, I am putting that die in. Thought I wasn't, but I was. So I'm just going to take that into position as well. Now, when I put this through my die cutting machine, I'm going to put it through like that, so that if my machine is here, and I did see somebody asked if I'd got it, but I haven't got my new machine yet. It's been ordered, but I haven't got it yet. So I'm going to put it through that way so that the rollers, when it's cutting, is going to hit that point rather than a solid bit, if you see what I mean. So it's going to go in sideways like that. So let's just grab, oops, a piece there. So it's going to go onto my plate like that. And put that over the top. Whoops. Just going to run that through, and I will just check because I'm going through like 3 thicknesses here. So I will just check before I move it off that that is correct, and we will all be well. So I just want to, before I let go of it, whoops, just going to turn it over. I'm not, it has, but I'm just going to go through one more time because I want to be 100% sure. Now this time I'm going to go through that way round so that it's straight on. Okay. As I say, if you were just cutting ordinary card, you probably wouldn't need to do, but because I'm going through card, double-sided adhesive, and a layer of carrier sheet, which is what the graph paper is called, I just want to be sure, for my own sake, that it's easy to peel off. Because we don't want to make life difficult, do we? So take that one out. That is all well. Then we can poke through, generally, these pieces before we actually take the whole die out. So do remember that if you're doing this technique and you want it to go through your machine, I would just be on the safe side, pop it through a couple of times, whatever your machine is, just to be like making life easy, really, because it is thick paper that it has to cut through. I'm just taking all these little pieces out. Then I'm going to get myself some Cosmic Shimmer Diamond Sprinkles. And we're going to do a little bit of glitter. So let's take off the worst. Stay stuck, don't it? Oh, gosh. And then I just want to make sure that we've taken those pieces. So now the sun is shining absolutely. Oh, dining out and watching me at the same time. Well, life gets better and better. Better and better. Did I see... oh, now don't tell me that your machine's turned up. I don't want to know that. I will start getting jealous then. As I said, I've got perfectly good machines that are perfectly all right, but yeah. Everyone likes a new toy. And I was looking at other new toys as well. Really shouldn't, but probably will. Anyway, our June is still not very well. She's been very poorly, so sending get well wishes to her for speedy recovery. We need you, June. Looking forward to an online workshop with a group of lovely folks on Saturday afternoon. So that will be from 2 o'clock. If any of you are watching that are going to be attending there, then obviously your links and everything will be going out to you. Got a bit that keeps sticking on my finger. So that's something to look forward to. And then after that, we'll be planning for our next all-day event in real person, real people crafting, which is June the 3rd. Still a few places left for that, which I will get round to actually putting it on the website, and then you might be able to join us, which would be good. So you can see now that I think I've taken out all of those pieces. Just going to scoot these to one side. And bring in a spare bit of card. Now I need to remove this carrier sheet. So it will be very, very, that's the whole idea, sticky once you've taken that off. And because it's sort of like a intricate piece, just be a bit careful that you've got something like a pokey tool that you're holding it down with when you're removing this carrier sheet, just so that it doesn't all come back on itself and stick itself to each other. You know what I mean? It's the sort of thing I do. So I'm only telling you so you don't do what I would do. I'm then going to take my pot of Diamond Snow and I'm literally going to sprinkle that all over my sticky sheet there. So whatever it is being, that you can see. And I'm going to, obviously it's not a full thing, so she'll use some and then pour it back. I'm just going to rub it in so that all of the little bits, all of the pattern is going to have this glitter on it. Now I'm making this into actually a wedding card, but you could just as easily make it into any occasion, and certainly an anniversary card works really well like this too. So I haven't done that bit of sticky at the moment. I'm just going to pour this, hopefully without making too much mess, back into my pot. And then bring this back in again and just do this area, which I didn't have enough. I don't want that bit of blue in there, thank you. Where does that come from? Get off when you're told. Oh, he's almost encapsulated. Oh, it will be covered actually. No, don't need to make such a fuss then in that case. So just pouring that into there. And then just as I said, just making sure that it is in all the bits so that when you then touch this piece, it's not sticky anymore because you've covered it in glitter. You could, of course, cut this out of glitter card itself. But I have to say that when it comes to the white glitter card, I do think, or white finish like this, that this one gives to me a better effect. And probably just for the sake of it, I don't know if you can even see it, but it does. It's really glinting. So yeah, it is, believe me, it is. Looks rather pretty, but you know what it's like on camera. It's really difficult to differentiate between sparkly and not sparkly. I don't know why I'm doing this backwards. Hey ho, eh? Hey ho. So let's put the lid on that. We appear to have glitter everywhere. I'll just take that off in a second. Oops, just going to knock off any of the excess. But there usually isn't a great deal. And you can also get different coloured glitters. There's gold and silvers and obviously properly coloured ones as well. So it makes a nice thing. So there we are. There we have our glittered front piece there. Okay, so then I'm going to take a piece, and I know it's shiny, so I'm going to show you shiny and then turn it over. This is actually a piece of silver mirror card, and I'm going to take my die number 3, which was this sort of aperture one, and I'm going to put it as far as I can determine, whoops, get off, I'm told, into the centre. Okay, so I'm sorry that it's shiny. Roughly into the centre. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit off because we're not going to see this outside edge. So I just want to pop that into there, and I'm going to run that through. Because that's just a plain shape, I can run that through any which way that I wish. I'm just going to get rid of some of my glitter on here. Whoops. We like glitter, but we don't need over glitter, do we? Don't need to be glitter everywhere you go. So I'm going to then take those pieces off. And I don't need these 2 pieces here at this moment in time, but I did use it. Oh, you know what it is? That is because my car insurance is due for renewal in a few days' time, and I am inundated with people asking me if they would like a quote. I do not, just in case anyone wants to know. Thank you. So I did use these, well, this piece, I did use it, but I have cut out things like the happy couple, I've cut them out, and I've also cut out some sentiments and things. So I haven't needed it with it. So where is that going to go? That is going to go behind my image so that I can see, we're not looking at the outside here, so that I can see that behind. So we've got this silver mirror card showing through from behind. So in order to do that, I'm going to turn this over, make sure I haven't got any extra bits in, and I'm going to pop some spray glue onto the back of that. Which is very nearly run out. I think that's a lot, to be honest. That is my lot with the old spray glue. Good job, I got another one. So that's simply, I'm only looking at this aperture. That simply needs to go over the top so that the silver is showing through like so. Okay, so I'm just showing that through. Just pressing that down carefully. Now, that might not look all that wonderful at this moment in time, but wait till you see what it now looks like. We have now got an 8x8 card blank. And I'm going to be putting that more or less in the middle, but I'm going to be putting a bit of extra foam on it to bring it up and everything. So that one's there. I have already made a frame to go around it. And the frame just changes it, in my opinion. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put some foam both behind this, behind my frame, so that I am a distance, I should say, from my, oh, I've forgotten what it's called. What's it called, someone? Panneau chocolat. That's all I want to know about, but whatever. I'm going to put some there, but I'm also going to put some behind this because I don't want that to be laid flat on here. I've got the happy couple that are going to go into the centre. See where I'm going? Yeah? And then I'm going to put on my sentiments, keeping it really simple with this sort of like a stained glass window type of idea is where I'm thinking that I'm going with it. So let me first turn this over, and I'm going to put onto here my 2mm tape so that this is just a little bit off the actual front of the card. As I say, there was 2 other designs that I was really keen to show you, and I really didn't know which one to go for first. But unfortunately, some of the dies have already sold out at the suppliers, so I can't show you something that we haven't actually got in stock, which is the usual sort of, you know, we don't want to do that type of thing. So I'm going to put that there, just going to check where I want it to be. So I'm going to lay that on it so we know. And we will be wanting to move a fraction over there. I'm just going to put a little bit of a pencil mark on here so that we can be sure that I've got it roughly. Be sure that we've got it roughly. That doesn't make any sense, does it? So I know that that's the area where I want to be. So I'm just going to take off the backing of this. So yeah, hopefully I will get a chance to show you the technique of doing the stamping and the dies that I did over on my Facebook page, but there's lots of that around, so it really isn't rocket science. It's very easy, and I do think that the 2 crucial points from my point of view to get it right is that you've got the right stamp and the right die in order to give you a really good finish. And I think that with the die of the cars, squares, whatever. Yeah, I think that gives you that option of a really good finish. So that is going onto there. Then I'm going to put my happy couple into the centre. So I'm just going to cut. I had already cut this out from some of the extra silver mirror. So I've just cut them out with that. They're going to go into the centre. So I'm sticking them absolutely straight down. And then with this piece, put that to one side for a minute. This piece is the frame, and I'm actually going to put this on with really deep. So I'm going in with either, this is a 5mm, but you may not have any of this, but otherwise I would go in with 2 layers of the 2mm so that you've got a really deep frame. So this one is 5mm, but if you haven't got it, 2 lots of 2, giving you 4mm in total, would really make this stand out. So there's that. Just take that off and then put a bit of glue on and then add to the front. That just to break the static. Whoops, bring our card back in. There isn't a right or a wrong. Let's try and get it evenly, even border all the way around, hopefully. Now, obviously, you could go to town and put some flowers on here, but I wanted to keep it fairly plain and simple. I have cut out from the Always and Forever set in silver and white because I wasn't quite sure. So I'm going to put that one up here, which is 2 layers of the silver mirror. Whoops, should have done my fine one here. That one is going to go there. So that one says Always and then this one, the word forever, I'm going to actually put that onto the background there. Let's take the right glue, hold on a second. Same glue, just a different nozzle. And then that is going to go down here. So, as we said, they are background eyes. The whole idea is that you make them so that they are literally at the background, or in this case, it's actually the surround, and just gives a really pretty background. And quite a nice different choice with all of the different ones with the leaves or the feuilles. Yeah, good job. French isn't my second language, isn't it? Really, because it wouldn't be really. No, wouldn't need that one. I can ask for a Black Forest Gatto in German if that's any help. I do feel that's probably more help than knowing what leaves is in French, but there you go. So that is going to go onto my background, which I cut out of the silver mirror. Just place that onto there. Be a bit careful because to start off with, it's a bit shiny, obviously, on there. So I'm just going to put this straight down. You've got a lot of depth going on with your frame and your dies and everything, so I'm not going to put any foam behind this. Don't want it to be over the top. You possibly might think it is already. And that is simply going to go down here. Oops, correctly. Just hold on to that for a second. There we go. So let's just have our happy couples down there. And there we go. There is your wedding card with one of the Presscuts background eyes. So very, very simple, but I think it looks rather lovely. And if only you could see it. I can hardly see it myself, but despite the fact that obviously this is shining, you have got some lovely subtle effect on there as well. So I hope you like it too. It does look as if you did. So, oh my goodness. Dilys, turn your TV off. You do not need to see me in a 42-inch screen. Believe me, you do not need to see me. Good job it's only my hands, isn't it, eh? Anyway, so thank you very much for joining me today. What's left is over on the website, and I do apologise if you're not able to get what you like. Unfortunately, it was sold out. Some of them were sold out very, very quickly. So I do hope you managed to get what you would like. I am back with you on Sunday morning at 11. This week seems to have flown past. We really don't know what day of the week it is here, to be honest, so maybe you don't either. But I shall be back on Sunday at 11. And I will be bringing you some of the latest release from Jamie Rogers. So that will be something to show you there as well. Something with a little twist. So thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have a lovely evening. Take care and see you soon. Thanks. Bye.